Nobody can relegate the Igbos. We are part of this country. Peter Obi is saying. Now the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, yes, the former governor of Anambra State, has made a remark many consider to be bold when he said that nobody or any political cabal can push the Southeast to the periphery of the country's attention. Peter Obi made this statement during the tribute session for the late Chief Mbazulika Mechi, the elder statesman. Peter Obi said that the late Chief Mbazulika Mechi was the first Minister of Aviation during the First Republic in Nigeria. Obi made the statement while pouring encomiums and tribute to the late elder statesman. He said that as an experienced elite in Nigerian politics, he had lectured him about the importance of the Igbo, maintaining their presence in the political arena despite the challenges that they face. That's talking about Chief Mbazulika Mechi. Peter Obi went on to say that they are drawn to that landmark, and that as far as Nigeria is concerned, the Southeast will not be a slave to any tribe, nor will they lose interest in competing in the democratic process of the nation. He stated that the Southeast will not lose interest in competing. Yes, according to him, I quote, "During the time I was governor of Anambra State, I happened to be extremely close to our loving father, Mbazulika Mechi. I take time to visit him from time to time, and he was one of them who would never tire of regaling me with tales of Nigeria's past. He has maintained throughout his life the conviction that individuals from the Southeast should accept themselves and be a part of the political process, regardless of the circumstances, and learn to live with it. He was a fantastic father, which is why the rest of us need to model our efforts after his and continue to uphold the fact that we are a part of this enterprise that is called Nigeria. And no one will ever be able to push the Igbo people into the background." End of quote. That's a statement of Peter Obi. And so, what Peter Obi is saying in essence is this, that since after the war, that the Igbos have been seen as anathema. And Chief Mbazulika Mechi was of the opinion that the Igbos should not, allow themselves to be relegated, because there are actually forces working to relegate the Igbos. That's what Peter Obi is saying. He affirmed it, that there are forces, authorities trying to relegate the Igbos, but instead, look, the Igbos should not allow themselves to be pushed away. That is the most important thing here, that all Igbos are aware, irrespective of those who are doing vote for me, and those in politics, the political ideologies, they are all aware that there is a conspiracy theory against Igbo man since the end of the Civil War. The war ended in terms of hostilities, in terms of physical war, but indeed there is still war against the people of the Southeast. There is still war against Biafrans. The war is still against Nigeria. They are still against the Igbos. Yes, there's still war. It just ended by there's no hostility. But when you look at it, deeply, the policies of the Nigerian government since the end of that war, in terms of physical fight and warring, you know that the war has not ended. Look at their policy. Look at their programs. Look at everything they're doing. Everything, the Southeast will always be at a disadvantaged position. Always at this disadvantaged position. Everything, look at the states they created. All the zones have from 6 to 7. So only the Southeast zone that have only 5. Look at the local government they have created. Everything, they will make the region to be disadvantaged. Everything. And so the war is still ongoing. That's the fact. And so Peter Obi is actually on the side of that. Look, saying, yes, Mbazulika Mechi acknowledged that, look, the Biafrans are into a very difficult position in the country, but they should continue to struggle and make themselves relevant, and not allow themselves to be ridiculed, to be pushed away And so, these are the things the people have seen and said, look, if we reject us, we won't reject ourselves. We don't even know what we're doing in this contraption. We better go out. We better have our own separate state. Let us restore our own Biafra, the land of glory. Let us restore it. It will be in our best interest. That's what they are saying. That's what the people are saying. Since you reject us, we won't reject ourselves. After all, we are not benefiting anything in the contraption. The contraption is full of lies, it's full of suffering, pains and anguish. People are on daily basis going home without without nothing, with nothing. People are going to bed sleeping with empty stomach. People will go out in the morning, they'll come back home with nothing. They won't make ends meet in the contraption, and that is what is happening. And so the people of the zone, the Biafran, said, look, if you reject us in the contraption, of what benefit do we have in the contraption? Better we'll go and carve our own nation and start building. God help us. The next 20, 30, 40 years, we'll have a beautiful city, beautiful towns, beautiful country that our children will be proud of. Yes, and that's what they're doing. And that is why the call for referendum is getting momentum, because all the people in the zone and the Biafran land have agreed that they are being marginalized. That is the modern word that they are using to qualify, yes, the sufferings and the exclusion and the evil policy against them. And when we say marginalization, they say, well, who is being marginalized? It's a thing of the mind. No, everyone understands that. The elder statesman understands the condition of the Igbo man in the contraption. And so that's what Peter B is affirming. Because he has seen something in this race. He's running for the president of the country. He has seen the aspirations. People are seeing him as, oh, what are you doing? Do you think you can win an election in the contraption? Oh, who is this man? They're looking at him as if he's not qualified because he's from a particular region. That's all. Otherwise, are they mentally stable more than him? Academically? By experience and exposure and international connection and influence? What have you that makes someone a qualified candidate for a president? No one is better than him among all of them. But you want to look at him because of where he's coming from. So the Igbo man has a big task and role to play, to extricate himself from this, this dungeon. It's a dungeon. It's a dungeon. We have to play that role to extricate our people from the dungeon, from the darkness. After all, there's darkness. So who is begging and pleading to be in darkness? After all, no one. And so that's why referendum is getting momentum and people are embracing it in the region, and Biafrans are moving in line. And the federal government and their agents, they are in disarray. They are in disarray. They are frustrated by the show of solidarity, oneness, unison by the Biafrans, particularly towards the Onyendumas Namdekan, who is